when we look at Super Search, when we first open it up, it looks like this. All right. So you can load a natal chart right here. Okay. And if you want to work with a natal chart, or you can work with transit. Now, over here on the right, we see T-min and T-max. That's the time that you want to start working with. I could say now it's going to start with today, okay? Or I could say anytime. And then I could either click on this little blue thing here. And, oh, that went down the bottom, okay. Uh, I could say, okay, uh, I can go back and click on this little thing and I can say 10 years, 3 years, whatever. Or if I don't like it, then I can click on T-Max and give it a year, you know. I mean, there is set for 2 years from now. And then that's the time you want to do the search. But you can do a search for 1800 to now. In other words, if well, I'm not going to do that now. First of all, let me explain stuff and then we'll see what happens. And of course, here is one thing that's very, very, very good. We call that step. Let's say that you're calculating an aspect like Uranus Pluto, which I mean move very slow. And I calculate, let's see, for 500 years. It could take me a long time to calculate it. But if I go and calculate every 3 days, I mean, I'm still going to find the aspect. I could even calculate every 10 days and find the aspect. But when I'm working with the moon or something like that, I may want to work within an hour or 2 hours of time anyway. All right, so we'll test that out later. And of course, calculation. And here we have, if you click on this little icon right here, a little check mark, it opens up all the videos. It comes with the program, and as you can see, there's all kinds of videos in there that you can work with, and so there's no problem with it at all. So you can go out and do whatever you want with it. So here it is right now. I can see all the videos, and I can see all the way down the bottom that we have videos here, and you just double click on the one you want to watch and see there's 12 videos, and it explains pretty well what the software does. So I'm going to get out of this, okay? Here, of course, is print. If you click on this, it will print the stuff that you want to print. Here, the little toolbars here, it sets you into, you can work with asteroid, the Swiss ephemeris asteroid. You can take, parallax in consideration, arbitration. You can set your own rulers. You can work with different house system, okay? And the node, true nodes or mean nodes. And then over here, this is very important. I'll show you some of that later. Let's see that you have a natal chart that you want to filter something out from it. You can do that. And of course, here is the natal chart that's on. All right. And when you click back on this little arrow, it comes out. It comes back to the screen. And this part right here, the little magnifying glass, when you want to magnify the screen, I'll show you that. And this is a screen manipulator. I'll show you in a minute how we use that. So as you can see, there's hardly no setup that you have to do except here. If you want to work with different things here, you can set that up. All right. Now, the most important part of Super Search is right here. All right. Edit model. This you can set up just anything you want with this. In other words, you can do position of planet. You can do houses of planets. In other words, if I click back on the sun, I can do all of this. I can do them all one by one. Because if I want to also add the moon, the sun, the moon, I just add them in. And then when you see it's on here. And I can add the signs, all the sign. I can add succeeding, concading, and that, or all. All right, cancel. And then here is for houses. I can, I want to find the planets in house. I can do that. All right. Remember, I can work with transits or natal. So if you work with natal, that means you're analyzing a lot of natal chart. If you're doing transit, of course, you're analyzing what's going on in the sky. All right. So this is, And then we see on most of them, we'd give you standard criteria. And that means, if you want planets in air sign, you want planet ingress in fixed sign, you want this, all you got to do is, let's see that you want planet ingress in earth sign, just click on that, and that will, do ingress in earth sign right away. All right. Now, as you notice that we can work on the ecliptic, we can work on right ascension, we can work on helio, sidereal, and mundo. All right. So, and here it says ingress or ingress the first degree when you're playing with signs. So, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff. Now, if I go into a direct and retrograde here, I can just do any type of retrograded stuff. Mercury, if I just say retrograde, it's just going to find times when it's retrograde. I mean direct. I say retrograde, it's retrograde. If I want to see what happened when I say retrograde, I click on this little thing. It tells you it's retrograde right here on the curve. Now let's say I want retrograde but slowing down. You know how it goes up, it speeds up, then it's slowing down before it turns again. Direct, then I can do that. Or I can say retrograde fast. So here the planet is slowing down, then it's speeding up, and then it's slowing down again in retrograde. I can do the same thing in direct motion. So I can say direct, and if I do that, it tells me that the planet is speeding up, boom, right here. And if I do slowing down, as you can see, it's going to slow down right here before it turns. So I can do anything. I can say accelerating, slowing down, all this good stuff, and I can put any planets in there, all right here. I can do it on the ecliptic. I can do it on right ascension. So this is very important. Again, I have standard criteria. It says planet change direction, planet change direction from direct to retrograde. So, it's a super search, and there's really nothing in the sky that you can't find, and find it fast too, So, I mean, this is what I like about this program. And then we got aspect. Of course, the aspect you can, do all the aspect that you want here. You can do, if I click on clear, it clears them all. Minor, it got the minor, clear. I say major, and it just does the major aspect. Okay, so let's say I do the major. I do transit of Mars to the moon. All right. I can do applying or separating. I can do all of them. Or I can do just the front part, and of course, let me get back to this in a minute. First of all, let's me the 5 Ptolemy aspect. I can do all these search. Right ascension, heliospherical means that they have to be in aspect in declination, and that's what we call occultation in an eclipse or something like that. Geocentric latitude, declination, heliocentric latitude, and aspect in phases. So in other words, if Mars is at full phase and Venus is at a new phase, then it would be in opposition in phases. And we find out that works rather well when we work with trading the market. All right. Again, here we'll do all of it. All right. And then I can do culmination. That means find the time that's exact. Or I can do orb. All right. And when I do orb, I can change the orb right here. And if I put it a conjunction, orb, and I put harmonics here, I can do harmonics. In other words, I can go up there and click on harmonics. So, again, you can do all kinds of different things with this to work with aspect. There's no problem at all. And you notice that it won't let you do a harmonics unless you're in conjunction. All right? Because that's the way, because every aspect, when they're in harmonics, they're in conjunction. So, again, we can do standard deviation here. We can do solar eclipse, lunar eclipse. This is occultation, parallax, counter parallax, whatever. All right? And again, let me go back and let's see that I'm doing these two aspects and I'm doing a square. So in other words, I'm saying, you read it, transiting Mars, square, transiting moon. Now, if you search a natal chart, you could say natal moon. But here we're doing that. Now, if I do all, it's going to do the 90 degrees and the 100 and the 270s. Remember, 2 square, the front and back. And if I do the front, that's a 90 degree. Aspect. It's only going to search for 90, not 270. If I do the back, it's only going to search for 270. If I do both, it search for both aspects. Then once I do this, I can click on here, and it becomes this. All right. Then I can say calculate, and you get your thing to calculate. And let me do something real funny here. I'm going to clear it up right here, and I'm going to do. Let's see. Let me see. Funny stuff. I'm going to say Uranus. All right. I'm going to take Mars off, though. I'll take Mars off. Uranus square Pluto. All right. Uranus square Pluto. Where's Pluto? Right here. And we know we had that in the 30s sometimes, right? And I'm going to say Uranus square Pluto. I want both. I want on the ecliptic. And let's see. I'm going to give it an orb a little bit so we can see it more. We can see it. So let's give it a 4-degree orb, all right? And we'll say plus. And it's in here now. And it says L1, and this says L1. So then once I do this, I can get it out. My computer understands that. I'm going to go into Team In, and let me say into 1920, all right? August 1920, doesn't matter, okay? And then I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to say now. I'm going to do it till now, okay? Or I can even add a couple of years here by adding this on. This is very simple. If you click on it, you can do the month, all right? So, okay. So here we're doing from 1920 till now. And here I'm going to calculate every 5 days. I could even calculate every 10 days I'm using a 4-degree orb. And then I can go up there and I can say calculate. Look how fast it calculates. It's super fast. Now it tells me what happened. Now you see this right here. All right. Now I can go up. You see this little magnifying glass? I'm going to click on it. I'm going to hold the mouse down. I'm going to do this. Wow. Okay, there they are. Now, if I want to, if I move my mouse, watch this. The date, it tells me when it's at peak right there. All right, July 19, 1931. And then you can see, this is more like a 4-degree orb. This is more like a 1-degree orb. All right. So if I really want to see this, I can click on this little transit wheel, and I can take it down a little bit like this. I got two. I want to take it down, and let's say I'm going to click right on here. All right. And it tells me here Uranus is at 27, and this is at, but I'm not in the middle. If I was in the middle right there, you can see that's where the aspect peak 25, 27. So then it tells me what else is going on in the sky at the same time. So now, if I click back on these two little thing right here, I see the part. I can go look, check that one up. So as you can see, this makes the screen wider. This moves the screen like this, you see. I can move the screen with these arrows. So as you can see that it's pretty fast into doing what we need to do. All right. So now what I'm going to do is that, all right, so we know how to search for things. Let's see that we're going to do something really crazy here. All right. Let's see that I go edit thing. Oh, first of all, before we do something crazy, let's look at more things we can do. Midpoints, right? You can set midpoint. Coordinates. Coordinates here is that you want to find, when the sun is in cardinal sign between, let's see, 14 degrees to 16 degrees. Very simple, 14 degrees. And here, let's see, to 16 degrees. Now it's going to find when the sun is in cardinal sign in that. You can do any sign you want. You can do any planets you want. You can do on the ecliptic, heliocentric, all of these things here. All right. Speed, you can check speeds of planet, how fast they're going, and then speed difference. We use that in in the financial trader to trade the market. It said when the speed of Mercury is 59 degrees difference to the speed of Mars, the wheat and corn and stuff like that reach a peak. All right. Then we have phases of the moon, okay, and also we have phases of every planet, Venus and all that. Angles between, so here you can make your own angles. So instead of using regular squares, opposition and all that, you can make any angles you want, between two planets or three planets or whatever. Orbit is, planets in perihelion, perigee, nodes, patterns. You can find grand square, a mystic rectangle, kite. This is very good to do electional, by the way. All right, because you can go up there and find when these happen. Watch, I'm going to do grand trine, I'm going to do grand square, a kite, and T-square right now. I'm just going to do this. All right, I may want to do the mystic rectangle, right? And I want to say transits. All right, I'm going to put all the planets, bang, bang, and I want to do here all the planets too. Put all the planets, bang, and there it is. And geocentric, I want to use a 7-degree orb, 0.7. All you got to do is type it in. And transit, I want to do this. So I'm going to be looking for this, right? So now I can send it down, okay? And here I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to do now, here and now, so 214. And I'm going to go here, and I'm going to do 16 is good enough. All right. Yeah, I can even do 15. All right. And August 15. I want to check this again. This is 214. Okay. So now I'm going to calculate this every 6 hours. All right. I think I'll be fine with that. Oh, I didn't need to do that. I pressed the wrong thing. Calculate. All right. So let him calculate the thing, and now you can see here, well, I made a mistake in one way, but you can see if you look at it, if it's a grand trine or a grand square. But I was thinking of our Millennium program. It spreads them out. This you can only look at one at a time. All right. With the Millennium, it lines up the grand trine, the kite, this. So I can, when I do election, I can click on grand trine, see if there's a kite, and then also there's a T-square. This one here only finds one at a time. So in other words, I can't do all of that. I can only do, for instance, find all the grand trine in the sky, right? And here I got the formula there. I could say clear it and redo it, but I want to say replace. Not, you notice it replace it to just a grand trine, and I want to take it down. I want to calculate it. There. And now all it's going to give me is a grand trine. All right. So yeah, in the Millennium, that's a feature that I use a lot. All right, because of what it does, and it's just a beautiful thing to be able to when you do an election, for somebody to sell a house or do something, you're looking for the kite, you're looking for the grand trine. See, these are all grand trine here. So in other words, if I click on this and I go look at this there is a grand trine somewhere. If I do it more here like this, let me see here. Let's see, yeah, there. If I do it just about here, I should start seeing a grand trine in there. But there is a grand trine because it's very good into finding grand trine and grand square. All right. Okay. Now I'm gonna do something. If we look at this, for instance, right, and we can do back and front. In other words, an aspect in between. That's a besieged. They use that in horror. We put it in here. It does which day it is for the course. Planetary pictures. You can make all your planetary pictures. First planet, that means planet rising before the moon. All right. So you can put any planet here. You can put them all if you want to. See what's rising. Interception. So you can find out interception in houses and intercepted planet. All right. Here you can find out zodiac reception, zodiac reception by houses, rulers, status. So you can say like the first house ruler in the let's see, the transiting first house. Let's see, is direct, all right, or is position in dignity, or is into the ascendant or into the fifth house. So now I can search if the first house ruler is in the fifth house. So I can do that in transit. So let's say you're trying to do an election to buy stock or buy the lottery. You want to do blah blah blah. You can do that also. Planetary and dignity. We have all kinds of dignity. So like I said, this thing here is check just about anything that you want. So one thing that I want to show you. Let's go here and do this. And I'm going to say I'm going to go into aspect, and I want to say. The moon, let me see here. The moon sextile, the sun sextile Mars, just for the fun of it. The sun, first of all, I clear this up. The sun, all right. Sextile, again, we can put any planets we want. Clear, sextile, okay. And we say Mars. Okay, so I take Pluto out and we say Mars. And I want natal this time. Natal Sun, sextile, natal Mars. Okay? And I got it. And I'm saying here, let's say it's in orb. I'm going to put 7 degrees. Oh, 7, blah, 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 blah. Okay? And so I'm all set here. I want an ecliptic. I'm going to say, okay. All right? Can send it down. And I'm going to go here, which as you can see, it says natal filters. So I'm going to go up here. And I believe that I hope I can find what I want here. No, I want to be higher. Okay, fast research. And I'm going to go here, murderer. That's what I want. Okay, so I got murderer here, and I want to find out how many of them have the sun sextile Mars. Okay. So it's going to go up and it's going to find every one of them. And it's going to tell you how many here on top. But I'm going to break it. All right. But now if you want to see it, you want to see the chart, you can click on one and click on this little icon. And there's the chart. All right. Sun, sextile Mars right here. Okay. Now, let's say that you want to pull it out of your chart file. You want to pull out all something to do a research. I use that a lot. Then I pull them all out. I say save, and I save all these things as blah, blah, blah. I can do it in transit. I can do it in culmination. I mean, so as you can see, this thing here, the sky is the limit. I want to show you one more thing. Let's see that I want to do something funny here. I'm going to clear this, and I'm going to do transiting, moon, okay, conjunct, right here, the sun. Of course, that's a new moon, right? We all know that. All right, in transiting, not natal, transiting. So I'm looking for, and I want no orb. All right, no orb, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, no orb. I want on the ecliptic, so transiting, I want to send it up here. Okay, so I'm looking for new moon. But I'm also looking for a new moon that square Mars. Let's see, for instance, all right? So I want the moon, say conjunct Mars first. Okay, so let's say conjunct Mars, see if we can find one. And I'm going to say Mars. Okay, so now I'm saying that the moon has to conjunct Mars. And I'm going to put a 5-degree orb here. Okay? Okay, 5-degree orb. And I'm going to add the formula. Now you see I got 2 here, L1 and L2. I could have 20 there. Now, when I say an asterisk between them, that means that both criteria has to be met. If I say a plus, if I say, for instance, here I'm going to say L1, okay, and then I'm going to put an asterisk L2. Okay, and I'm going to click this little check mark to put it in. If I say a plus instead of that, then I would find when this happened and when this happened. Seeing that I got an asterisk means that both of them has to happen. So I can do even, I mean, things like this, I can say here, these both things that happen, this thing, so I can do parentheses, I can do any formula that I want. All right. So now I'm going to go up and I'm going to say, let it start today now. Okay. And you notice there's also an atlas there that you can go up there and set, do anything you want. And it'll take care of the time changes and all that. Okay, so I'm going to say now. And here I'm going to go 15. Let's go 16. Okay. And then here, because I'm using the moon, I'm going to calculate every 2 hours. Okay? 2 hours. Again, you can roughly estimate if you're using Mars, you can calculate every 2-3 days. If you're using Pluto, 10 days. If you're using the moon, you have to stay within an hour. The sun, Venus within a couple of days, you'll find the aspect. And it's just because if you're doing long search, then it's faster. But you can calculate every 2 minutes if you're willing to wait. Now you notice this here. This is when the moon conjunct Mars. All right. This is when the new moon. When they both happen, they give me this. All right. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to do this. All right. So that means that if I go here and I look at it, it says June 16, 2:15. It happened. If I wanted to print this, right? I could click on printer here. See the info? There's a place called info. If I want to find out what's going on there, it tells me exactly. So let's see that. I want to show you how important that is later. So it tells you what happened. If I wanted to print it, I click on this, and it tells me right here when these things happen. I just print. It's just only going to print the date that it happens right here. All right. It says it happened at 6/16, June 16, 2:15. All right. It's only going to print that date. So if you have a lot of dates, you could. All right. So you see now, if I go back here, all right, and I click on this formula right here, and I say, well, let's look at major and minor aspect. Okay. And I'm going to replace the formula. Now it looks at major and minor aspect. I don't change L2 and L1 because that's what I want. And I won't change my date there. I'm just going to calculate. All right. So now I'm calculating the new moon. And so I can calculate when Mercury's retrograde is squaring Mars. I can calculate, I can mix them up when the midpoint of this is doing this at the same time that Mars squares Venus. You can make it up. All right. This is one thing about make up astrology. You can make up anything you want here. And as you can see, wow, only this happened, only one happened. Well, let's do something real crazy then. Let's go up there and you say, let's put all the planets. Whoa, okay, and replace the formula. Now I'm doing all the planets with all the aspect. Let's see what that's going to give me. I got to find something with that, right? Calculate. Let's calculate that. And again, it's very fast for calculating every 2 hours and calculating all the planets and all the aspects. So you can adjust the speed, like I said, by this is what we put stepping over here because that really helps things out. If you want to, if you make, let's say you make some L1 and L2 and you make, plus this and that and all that, then you can save these things right here. All right, you can save your edit model right in here. Then at any time you can go back and do it. So if you're using the same stuff, this or that, and both of this thing and quotation and stuff like that, you could make them up and save them so you don't have to come back and remake it. Now you can see where there's a lot of stuff that's happening here. So let's look at it. We got it on the magnifying glass. I'll hold my mouse down and I'll take this. There. Okay, 3 things that happened. I want to know what happened. I'm going to go into info, right? Right here. And I'm going to click on this right here. And it tells me right here all what's happening here. There's a new moon, plus the moon is in opposition to Uranus. The moon semi-square Venus and semi-square Saturn. So I can see what this is doing. All right. And if I want to, I can say on printer here, and that will go out and print all of these dates. See, they're all here when these all of these happening right there. See that? It's going to print all of that. So as you can see, it's a real powerful piece of software because it's really you can mix and match. You can search thing. You can search within a chart. You can search just about anywhere with this thing here. So as you can see, it has its potential, and I use that tremendously. I use this part right here where I want to filter something in the natal chart. I can filter, when I do research and I find out, oh, like for suicidal, for instance, they have a very strong Neptune square Mars, but also Neptune square Jupiter. I want to find how many people have that in my chart file. I can go up there and set that up, bang, and click it. It's going to pull out all the people that has that in my natal in their natal chart. So you can do just about anything you want.